Hello! So, I wanted to do a video about Daredevil because she's the hero of the month, or this month, right? So Daredevil, right? She's the hero of the month, right? So I figure it's a good time to do a profile on her. So Daredevil, right? She's probably way down on my list here. She's way down here. So Daredevil is right. So let's see. Let's go to his stats. So Daredevil, what is life? Life is an endless war. How to be happy in life. Start enjoying this war, obviously. Daredevil doesn't care about her lost arm, as the new one made of steel is much, much cooler. She plays it really close to the edge each and every day, and she knows the real taste of life. Right, so Daredevil, of course, is kind of like this fearless gunner. Right, she's really just, right, doesn't have like any fear. She's kind of like, no inhibitions, kind of bit crazy. It's kind of like implied to be kind of crazy, right? But a bit of an interesting character. Right. So she got a rework last year, right? Or I think it might have been earlier this year. Honestly, it might have been earlier this year. Wasn't that long ago. I can't remember now. But I think it was last year. I can't remember. I'm sorry. But right, but right, so they changed, like, so Thirst for Blood used to be this, like, really bad ability people made fun of, and that one was, like, the main thing that changed, right, because it actually allows her to ignore armor when she sets enemies on fire with, like, her ult or firefights, right, like, so she got a lot better, but this is, like, so this does pure damage, explosion damage, right, that's actually, like I said, it does physical damage and then pure damage. The burning damage is a pure damage, right? So this could be good because she could do some pure damage. This has a stun on it. I mean, Sebastian blocks stuns, but the stun and movement, attack speed decrease. Right? If they don't have Sebastian, this can be good. Firefight, right? This fires right. This is the one that does puts them on fire. Right, again, the only downside to the fire effect is that, again, Sebastian can block it. Like, so it's kind of, I think, the biggest thing that limits her. I mean, she can do a lot of damage, though, since the rework. I've seen her, excel in certain lines, but she's definitely, right, and then Thirst for Blood, right, this out pretty much gives her armor penetration when they're on fire. But yeah, I mean, she can do a lot of damage. Right, like, so, but she sits in the very back. Like, she's a backline hero. Like, she sits pretty far back. Like, so we'll come back to this here in a minute. But, guild battles. So if you're doing Daredevil, right, where is Daredevil? She'd probably be close to the top right here. So Daredevil, like, she sits behind a lot of heroes. Let's see, who are some backline heroes? So she's in front of Fox. Okay, so some of the marksmen going behind her. Trying to figure out what goes behind. Okay, so she, like I said, so she's maybe not quite as far back, but she's behind Nebula. She's tends to be in front of a lot of the other marksmen, but she's behind a lot of these heroes. Right, kind of. Right, so she's right there back in that marksman, where most of the marksmen sit. She's like right in front of some of them. Right, so that's kind of where Daredevil sits in the line. So a lot of times, like, she'll either be very back or second to back most lines. Right, and right, so Daredevil, like I said, sorry, wrong one. So Daredevil, let's go find her again, sorry. Right, so Daredevil, like, and we look at her skins, she has agility, critical hits, the rowdy skin. I believe this is the only hero with a rowdy skin. Romantic skin, which is health, and spring skin's more health. Right, so she has 2 health skins. This one's, of course, her best one. Right, because critical hit is an important stat for her. Right, so if you look at her stats, right, like I said, right, critical hits, right, so she's a critical hitter. Right, so I'd say critical hit, agility. Then you could do health after those 2. I mean, I think she has really low health, so... But, some maybe maybe skipping some of the health, might be for the best. Like I said, less health, you can sometimes get some extra energy, like in certain fights. right? Sometimes it's good to have less health. I mean, especially for marksmen and then glyphs. This is armor pen. That should be your first one you get. Armor pen, then crit chance, physical attack, agility, and then health last if you do health at all. That should be your last one. Right, and then we can look at her artifacts. I believe she buffs physical attack. Right, so she buffs physical attack. Not that cool, nothing special. But, yeah, physical attack's okay. This gives her a critical hit chance. I believe she's like one of like just two or three heroes. I mean, not a lot of heroes get the Warrior's Code. It's a very rare artifact, right? Heroes Code. I mean, I said like maybe, yeah, no, Yasmin doesn't. So I think it's just her and Sebastian maybe. Right, Sebastian, he gets a Warrior's Code, but I'm like, honestly, I think those are the only two heroes that even get a Warrior's Code. Like, where's, yeah, no, she gets a Warrior's Code, so Yasmin does. So 3 heroes get Warrior's Code. Right, but I remember there was a time when she was the only hero that got a Warrior's Code that I could recall, because Sebastian got at it and stuff, but, yeah, so that's Daredevil. And then of course she has agility because she's an agility hero, and then patronage. Mara, that can increase her stun effect on the lightning theme ability. This gives her armor pen. This is probably her best pet in most situations. She does some pure damage. I don't think she does enough pure damage to really make a lot of bonus from Malbus. I mean, she's more of a physical attacker. So I would say Fenris is probably her best patron, but maybe, he's not available, but yeah, usually, like I said, most of the time I think Fenris will be available, and that's probably the patron you want on her. Right. Yeah, no, Daredevil teams, we can go back to the battles now. So Daredevil teams, right, you're probably, this is, like, you definitely want Sebastian. Sebastian would be on a Daredevil team, and then you can, right, like Aurora's go-to, and Celeste's go-to usually, and then it's kind of like, what's your last hero? I mean, that's a problem with some of these heroes, like, right, Nebulas, and that's a problem with Nebulas. You can't really use Nebula with a lot of these marksmen because you really need Sebastian to make the most of them, so Nebula's kind of a no-go. So, I mean, you might want to put her with an armor pen hero. Like, Isaac might be good. Isaac's probably going to be the best here. Morgan can be good, but Morgan's kind of, like I said, but you might switch with Corvus. I mean, Corvus kind of meh, but Morgan is a decent armor pen buffer. Like, the crit buff and the physical attack buff actually buffs her minions, right? So Morgan is kind of interesting because you can actually, right, she benefits from the critical hit buffs like all of her minions do. So that might be an option. Or of course Fox, like I said, Fox or Chainmail or Elmer, I guess, could be other options. But yeah, I don't know. I don't see her a lot because she's kind of a bit meh, but she is the hero of the month. I mean, there's definitely worse heroes in the game these days. I mean, there was a time when people joked that she was like the worst hero in the game, and those days are over since her rework, thankfully. Anyway, I hope you guys found this video informative. Thank you for watching.